Good morning.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of General Gus Perna, Commanding General, United States Army Material Command, welcome to today's promotion ceremony in honor of Colonel Promotable Stephen L. Allen, Deputy Commanding General, United States Army Sustainment Command. Welcome distinguished community leaders, general officers, members of the senior executive service, soldiers, both active duty and retired, Department of the Army civilians, contractors, friends and family of the Rock Island Arsenal community. Thank you all for tuning in to today's virtual ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the national anthem and remain standing for the invocation by Chaplain Lear.
I invite you to join with me in prayer. Let us pray. Almighty God, as we gather today to have Colonel Allen become a brigadier general, we acknowledge that it is you, Heavenly Father, who executes judgment, puts down one and lifts up another. And you have certainly lifted him up today. We recognize that this is a result of solid leaders in his life, years spent in combat, dedication to training and education, and importantly, a family that supported him throughout. Lord, your word is clear. You have commanded your people to be strong and courageous. So I pray that you give him, his family, those whom he leads, and us, strength and courage, that as we face the challenges ahead of us, that we would not be frightened. As we look forward to a future known only to you, that we would not be dismayed. For you, the Lord our God, are with us wherever we go. This I pray in your holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Lear. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, Major General Shapiro, Commanding General, United States Army Sustainment Command.
Well, Chaplain O'Lear, again, thank you so much for that beautiful invocation. I want to thank General Perna for taking time out of his busy day to be part of the ceremony. Thank you, sir. Even though you couldn't be here in person, we can hear you and see you, sir. And we're happy that we could do this virtually. This will be a first. This is a first. I'd like to welcome, I know, sir, you're going to recognize the family, but I want to welcome Janelle, who I just met. And we're talking about going overseas, so it's a pleasure to meet you. And I wish you nothing but good luck. So we're here today, virtually and in person, to honor Steve Allen, an outstanding officer, an outstanding soldier, an outstanding leader, and an outstanding individual. Someone who I've grown to rely on, and who's done a truly remarkable job here at Army Sustainment Command. And I know Steve's ready for the responsibility of promotion, because I know personally, and I know he works hard to reach this goal, and that he's never flinched from taking responsibility in the past. In fact, Steve always wants the most difficult tasks, as you can tell just by reading his file. He expects to be held accountable for what he's been held responsible for. And then when things don't go right, he takes the blame. And when things go well, he lavishes honors on those who helped him get there. And that's one of those things that kind of stands you apart from your peers, Steve. And the fact of the matter is, more often than that, you're giving credit versus taking blame. That's also another reason why we're here today, to see you get promoted. I'll just talk about one of the initiatives. I know General Perna will speak more. But Steve's led our initiative to improve the quality of life for soldiers that are stationed in Alaska. And I've never been stationed in Alaska. I've not been to Alaska, but I know it's a tough assignment. They say it's cold there, colder than Rock Island, and it's cold here in Rock Island. It gets cold. So I know it's not pleasant there. But through Steve's efforts, it's going to be the assignment of choice for soldiers. Steve leveraged our log cap contract to begin the construction of six winter maintenance facilities and 2 combined readiness facilities, all of which will be ready to use sometime later on this calendar year. I've seen the plans, I've seen the concept, I know where we're going with this world-class facilities, and they're going to provide great working conditions. And this is a tribute to Steve and his determination to deliver the highest value. You know, we were going down this path, and I think we were going down the path that it wasn't going to be quality. And Steve had the fortitude, and we had been briefing general officers and senior civilians throughout the Army. And Steve said, I think we've got to put the brakes on this. I think we're going down the wrong path. And we took about 3 weeks off, and now we're getting to a quality product. And also, and that's in the future, but today, the quality of the food in the dining facility is up immeasurably. And that's Steve working with DLA Troop Support and the vendors in Alaska to get our soldiers the right food for the right price. And it's not just the food, it's the Wi-Fi and the DFAC, it's the big screen TVs, these great menu options. And so, how do you know it's working? I got a buddy who's got a kid in the brigade that's coming back. I got a buddy who's got a kid in 125, they're going to arrive right now. And the commander of the brigade is standing up in formations and talking about all the things that are happening back in Alaska right now. And those soldiers are, it's highly motivating. And those soldiers are feeling great. And it's, Steve, that's because of you. So this all happened because of you, Steve. You care about your soldiers, you care about families, you care about civilians, you care about the contractors who are doing this work, and you're committed to seeing them have what they need to succeed and prosper. And you know, the life of an Army officer, the life of an Army general officer is really dedicated to setting those conditions as we've talked about, making sure that those people have what they need to have to succeed. You're setting the conditions, Steve. You're doing a fantastic job. So it's my privilege to take part in this promotion. It's been great to work with you in the past, and I look forward to working with you in the future. You've given a lot to the Army, and you've got a lot left to give. So God bless to you and your family, and best of luck to you as you move on. And ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to now introduce the Commanding General of Army Sustainment Command, General Gus Perna.
Steve, thank you. How do you hear me?
Sir, well.
All right, got you. All right, so I echo all the things that General Shapiro just said, and I'm going to illuminate some shortly. But first and foremost, to Steve and to Janelle, thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this. Right? Never, I'm sure, after knowing Steve for about the last 8 years, had he ever thought about being a general officer, because it's not in his DNA. As General Shapiro just articulated very well, Steve Allen was all about doing his job, taking care of soldiers, taking the mission to the next level. Every time, to use a baseball analogy, stepping into the batter's box, digging his feet in, just getting ready to drive the ball is Steve Allen, right? And so for him to even think about getting promoted to general is out of character. But even if he did slip every once in a while and start thinking about it, he probably never imagined he'd be getting promoted today via VTC, right? And as General Shapiro said, it is a first. It's going to be a first of many. Army is going to be doing a lot of things virtually: promotions, change of commands, retirements. And so it doesn't take away from what we're doing, right? It's still about all that has been achieved, and a gracious thank you for all. And I'll talk more about that, but first I want to welcome some people that are up on the net. Of course, General Shapiro is kindly proctoring and hosting the ceremony for me. Command Sergeant Major Marco Torres is with us, but also watching, right? Some great general officers that are up on the net watching. Major General Rod Falk, Major General Charles Hamilton, Major General, retired, and albeit, I hope, a close friend of mine, John Wharton is up on the net, and then Brigadier General Michelle Letcher is watching as well. So thanks to those general officers who are up participating and sharing this moment with the Allen family I know each of you have probably reached out along with many others, so it's just powerful. Okay, General Shapiro mentioned Janelle. Janelle and Steve have been married for 32 years, right? They met in North Dakota, University of North Dakota. I had to go to the map and figure out where North Dakota was, Steve, for the record. But I found it, and it's cold up there. It's not cold in Rock Island. That's why I see you doing PT in shorts at Rock Island. So, but they've been together for 32 years. Janelle has had several of her own enterprisal experiences. She's been her own business owner. She's worked for others. She's a professional. But more importantly, or at least in my eyes, she's been a huge supporter of Steve for all these years, right? 30 years in the military. And she could always be there, or always was there, whether it was supporting the FRG, helping spouses during all the times that everybody was deployed, taking care of soldiers, while simultaneously raising her own family. So, Janelle, I just want to say thanks for all your sacrifices. Thanks for being the #1 fan of Steve. And thank you for all that you have done for our Army. It is really just special. Army spouses are special, and I just want to say thank you. And not that everybody will be able to do it, but I just want to give you a round of applause. Okay, up on the net with us also, live streaming in, is this great family, right? Daughter Heather is here, and her sons Carson, who's 7, and Carter, who is 5. And Heather, I saw you went to Kansas State. For the record, my wife went to the University of Kansas. She's a Jayhawk. So, a little bit of friction there, but 2 great universities, of course. And Heather has made the journey with Mom and Dad all these years, right? And now she is raising 2 great young men that maybe someday will have a future in the military. But Heather, thanks for being here. Thanks for all your sacrifices, and thanks for all your support. Their son Joshua Allen is up on the net, and his wife Caitlin are here. They're Skyping in or Zooming in. I wish I bought stock in Zoom. Zooming in from Kansas City. So Joshua and Caitlin, thanks so much for being up on the net, and to you, thanks for all you have done, your support to Mom and Dad, and everything that you've been a part of all these years. Children of the military are remarkable, right? They're strong, they're resilient, they're able to move from location to location, adapt, be agile, right? In some cases, probably innovative to what they have to do. And I just want to say thanks for all that you've done to be a part of this family. Steve Allen's mother's up on the net, Betty Allen. Betty Allen is calling in from Fargo, North Dakota, right? All of us have seen the movie. I don't know how accurate it is, but at least I had a visual. And so, Betty, thanks for making the call. And I'm guessing it might be snowing up there today, as early as April. But I want to tell you personally what a great job you did with your son. It is remarkable, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about him. But I'm a big believer that parents, right, drive our character. And both Steve and I'll soon talk about Janelle's parents, you were a great deal a part of that, and to all of you, thanks for what you do. Janelle's parents are up on the net, Orrin and Francine Soley from Walhalla, North Dakota. And again, my lame joke about snow is a reference for you. Hopefully someday I've talked my wife out of not traveling Europe, but traveling the United States. And though I jest, I didn't know where North Dakota was because I went to school when geography was taught. And I am going to get up to North Dakota. But to the 3 of you, thank you, thank you, thank you, right? It takes special people to serve in the military, to be a part of the military family. And both these, I am positive, both these great this great Army couple is a reflection of you. And so how about a round of applause for you three? Okay, to Steve, right? Steve, again, this morning while I was working out, I was thinking about this ceremony. I was thinking about when I was promoted to Brigadier General. I was thinking about the audience, kind of all the pomp and circumstance that occurred. I was thinking about how much money I had to pay for dinner that night. I was thinking about all the thank you letters I had to write. I was reminiscing about how I got there. And I know you've been doing all of this in your mind, mentally. And we've had to adapt to the current situation. I guarantee you, Steve and Janelle, there'll be another opportunity in your career, right, to do another promotion and celebrate, as I just talked about. Will there be family with you? Will there be other people to join you? Where you'll be out paying for a good steak dinner for 50 people. Trust me, that day is coming. But today, let's just focus on why we select people to become general officers, right? Because it is a direct reflection of Steve Allen. After 30 years of service, after 30 years of commanding at the company grade, battalion command and brigade command, in combat, in garrison, this individual has reflected all the characteristics that we desire in our general officers. Steve always, as General Shapiro alluded to, always thinks bigger than himself, right, and bigger than his organization. His efforts are about what's best for soldiers, families, the unit, and the Army. There is never any other personal thought in all of his decision making. When he is responsible for something, as General Shapiro talked about, he is all in. He is leading from the front. The first time I met him was several years ago when we had to travel out to Fort Bliss, and we were reinventing how we were executing a mission out there. Many of us, especially me, really didn't understand the mission. Steve understood the mission. Despite the responsibility he had as a brigade commander, right, primarily to the material force, Steve met me at Fort Bliss. We went through a concept of the operation. He told me the risks. He told me the resources. And then he told me, sir, just give me the mission and I'll execute it. And he did. And he did it magnificently. Right? That was my first impression of him. Many years later, what do I watch? I watch him finish brigade command strong. I give him a phone call and I say to him, we're going to send you to the J4 SOCOM. He says, Roger, sir. Did not blink. Did not blink. Right? A lot of colonels get that phone call and they have other thoughts. And it's more personal. And it's about what they think they need for their own professional well-being. Right? Steve Allen said, yes, sir, I can go do that job. And then he got in that job and he just made contact with the ball every single day. Right? And he garnered great supporters like General Joe Botel, right? Who personally called me to talk about Steve Allen, right? And so then after that, we picked up the phone and we called him and I said, Steve, I really need you to be at Army Sustainment Command as the Chief of Staff. Again, without hesitation, and hopefully in consultation with Janelle, he said immediately, yes, sir, we can do that, right? I can go do that. There was no thought about his professional promotion or advancement. There was no thought about what he was doing personally. It was about what was the mission. He was all in, ready to do what the Army needed, right? These were recognizable traits that we want in our general officers. We need general officers, right, who think bigger than themselves, bigger than their organizations. We need general officers who understand how the Army runs. We need general officers who serve selflessly because we're going to demand a lot of them. We need general officers who can take on the next mission without a lot of preparation. Because we put generals where the problems are hard, where problems have to be defined, where resources are limited, where we already know it's a problem at extraordinary level because it's not solved, and we expect generals to do that. That's Steve Allen. Steve Allen will lead from the front. Steve Allen will define the problem. Steve Allen will build the team and lead the team. Steve Allen will understand risk and figure out how to mitigate it. Steve Allen will never make a decision about what's best for him. It'll always be what's best for the Army. And that's why we selected Steve Allen. 1,800 plus colonels went to the promotion board this year, or 2 years ago, when I was there with, reviewing files. 1,800 plus files. We selected 36 colonels to be general officers. Steve Allen is one of those 36. Right? That's a tough cut. Right? And he earned that recognition, and he was well recognized around the table as a leader who leads from the front, who is selfless in his duty, who takes responsibility for the things that he's in charge of, who figures out how to solve problems, right? And is always taking care of soldiers and our families. I wish you and Janelle, right, and Joshua, Caitlin, and Heather, Carter, and Carson, I hope you just understand the magnitude of what's happening today. I know that there's going to be great adventures in front of all of you. I know that your parents are remarkably proud of you. And this is just the beginning of the next journey in your Army career. I am so excited to see you go to Korea and take command of the 19th ASC. You're going to be an enabler to that country, and you're going to help with the mission as well as take care of our soldiers and our families. And I'm just personally remarkably proud to know you, to have been a part of your promotion, and I'm excited to see what you're going to go do for our Army. So God bless all of you. Thank you so much. Steve, enjoy the day. Over.
Thank you, General Colonel. Colonel Promotable Allen and Miss Allen, please come forward for the promotion ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the publishing of the orders. Attention to orders. The President of the United States has reposed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and abilities of Stephen L. Allen. In view of these qualities and his demonstrated potential for increased responsibility, he is therefore authorized and directed to wear the uniform and one-star insignia of Brigadier General by the authority of the Secretary of Defense. Signed, Thomas J. Edwards, Jr., Brigadier General, Chief General Officer, Management Office.
Not easy.
Yeah, but you look trained. That's excellent.
Please be seated. Brigadier General Allen will now be presented with the General Officer Belt by his wife, Janelle Allen. Ms. Allen will now present Brigadier General Allen with a certificate of promotion.
It's real.
Brigadier General Allen will now present Ms. Allen with a gift. General Colonel will now administer the oath of office.
Steve, raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Stephen L. Allen,
Having been appointed an officer
having been appointed an officer
in the United States Army
in the United States Army
at the rank of Brigadier General,
at the rank of Brigadier General,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic.
and I will bear true faith
I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
and I take this obligation freely,
that I take this obligation freely,
without mental reservation
without mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and I will,
and I will,
well,
well,
faithfully discharge
faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
for which I'm about to enter,
for which I'm about to enter,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Brigadier General Allen will now be presented the one-star flag uncased by Command Sergeant Major Torres. Throughout the history of warfare, a general officer's personal flag symbolized leadership on the battlefield. The original flags, authorized for general officers with both flags, scarlet in color, they were first authorized by War Department General Order No. 4, dated 22 August 1903, for use by Army officers making official visits to Navy vessels. The authorization of flags was further expanded to include automobile flags, field flags, office flags, in 1923. Line officers had scarlet flags, and staff officers normally had flags with their branch colors. In 1947, all general officer flags, except Medical Corps and the chaplain flags, were changed to scarlet with white stars and gold fringe. The Army has incorporated the use of the flag to signify the presence of a general officer. This flag will be present at all military functions and visibly displayed in the office of the general officer. Having been nominated by the President, confirmed by the United States Senate, and duly promoted to the rank of Brigadier General, the one-star flag is being unfurled in honor of Brigadier General Stephen L. Allen. Thank you, Command Sergeant Major Torres. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to introduce the Deputy Commanding General, United States Army Sustainment Command, Brigadier General Stephen Allen.
To everyone out there joining us via Facebook Live, thank you for joining the 8 of us in the room here to make this happen. Wow, you know, Who could have thought that when you met PB2 Allen, this would be our life? What a journey it has been so far, and an opportunity to continue on this path for a few more years. I want to start by thanking you for being our heartbeat of our family, and for more than several years of marriage. Janelle, you are the common factor in all of this, and none of this would be possible without you. Words cannot express the sacrifices you've made for our family. This promotion is every bit as yours as mine. Military spouses are often the unsung heroes. While we plan to go to the field or go to war, our spouses covered on both roles in the house. When the mission requires us to stay late, our spouses readjust and continue the mission at home. Janelle, I want to personally and publicly say thank you for your sacrifice over the years. I love you very much. To Heather, to my daughter Heather, I'm proud of the wonderful woman and mother you have become. As a father and grandfather, I am thankful today for the precious moments to spend time together with you, and many more to come. To Carson and Carter, you two are pure joy and lots of energy. I look forward to building Legos with you, reading, or drawing pictures together. We'll have a few days together before our final move to Korea. I love you to infinity and beyond. To my son Josh and his wife Caitlin, I am even more thankful at the rare moments to spend time together with the both of you, especially those times during the holidays when our schedules line up. You both work extremely hard, and I appreciate your support over the years. If the opportunity does become available in the next 2 years, add a visit to see us maybe next summer or the summer after. I hear it gets rather humid where we are going. Nothing that a cold glass of your favorite beverage couldn't cure. We love you both very much. To my mom, watching you while I was growing up, I learned early on what the meaning of hard work really was. I know you have asked numerous times when I was going to retire and continue teaching, something that I enjoyed doing as an instructor at Fort Leavenworth. I'll give you the same answer that I have given several times over the years, which is, after a few more years in the Army. Thank you for your patience, stay healthy, and we'll see you in a couple of years. To my mother-in-law and father-in-law, Francine and Oren Soli, I know you really wanted to be here. I am very grateful for the both of you and the years of support as we have moved around the United States. I am very thankful for everyone that had a chance to visit last Christmas. That meant a lot to us, knowing that we were going to move this summer. Stay healthy, I love you, and I'll eventually see you again. To the rest of our family scattered around the globe, we love you all and thank you for your continued support and being our biggest cheerleaders. You are welcome to visit anytime, except for now. We look forward to the next gathering up north in a couple of years. Until then, stay safe. To our friends and extended military family, Janelle and I appreciate your unconditional love and support over the years. Through the ebb and flow that comes with military life, we hope that we are able to give as much as we received. To lend a helping hand, a shoulder to lean on, to laugh, and more importantly, to live and enjoy life together. You are all part of this journey. To General Perna, sir, thank you for the kind words and clearly your mentorship, guidance, even directed phone calls across the pond. Greatly appreciated taking the time to do this promotion ceremony. It means a lot to Janelle and I, our family, our friends, and those I've had the privilege to serve with over the years. Thank you, sir. To Lieutenant General Gamble, as your former Chief of Staff here at Army Sustainment Command, I appreciate the straightforward guidance just after I arrived in August of 2017. Janelle and I thank you and Sandra very much for making us feel welcome and part of the team. Major Jon Shapiro, thank you for your personal leadership and mentorship with me over the last 8 months to allow me to listen, to learn, and to operate within your intent. I greatly appreciate that, and it will stay with me as I transition to my next assignment and then beyond. Thank you, sir. To the many general officers, senior executive service personnel, command sergeant major, sergeants major, past and present tuning into this. Thank you not only for your time now, but for the investment you made in me in the past years. Your legacy, leadership, and mentorship has not fallen on deaf ears. To this day, my notepads remain full of your direction and guidance. I stand ready to execute our nation's bid. If you would have asked Specialist Allen or Captain Allen if this day would ever come, especially under these conditions, as mentioned with the coronavirus, I probably wouldn't know what to tell you. So I got to thank everyone for adjusting to this virtual promotion ceremony in order to protect our force and our families. We continue to give thanks to all of our soldiers, our first responders, healthcare workers, farmers, truck drivers, sanitation workers, and other essential employees during this time to keep the nation moving forward. Most people say that accomplishments like this take a village. I've got to say it's more like a brigade combat team or even a division with me this entire time. First, I would like to acknowledge where this all started, the University of North Dakota ROTC program. Thank you. To all the officers, NCO soldiers, DOD civilians, and contractors tuned in today, a heartfelt thanks for the camaraderie and service. To my 1st Infantry Division teammates from Fort Riley way back in the early 90s and 2000s, to my 10th Mountain Division Light Infantry warriors, to my very close-knit striker family at Fort Lewis, and especially to those in the former 402nd Brigade Support Battalion, and everyone in the 5th Brigade Combat Team, 2nd Infantry Division. I'll never forget our time spent together. To the 407th Army Field Support Brigade at Fort Hood. You were one of my first introductions to the United States Army Sustainment Command, or commonly known as the operational arm of Army Material Command. Thank you for setting my foundation and preparing me to better serve our soldiers across multiple Army units throughout 14 states from North Dakota to Texas. It was an assignment that clearly prepared me for my next duty position at MacDill Air Force Base, Florida. To the entire team and leadership within the United States Special Operations Command, thank you for allowing me to serve with you. An assignment that I will always remember, one that gave me different perspective on what it means to sustain our quiet professionals from the tactical through the strategic level. Special thanks to my battle buddies throughout this journey that provided direction, advice, recommendations, and knowledge to me to accomplish simple, complex, and sometimes dangerous tasks. To those senior non-commissioned officers that I served with and once called Command Sergeant Major, Sergeant Major, First Sergeant, with last names of Garcia, Williams, Chavez, Richardson, Smith, and now that I call friend. We trained hard at various home stations and accomplished tough missions downrange in the United States. I honestly could not have asked for a better group than all of you. This is for you. And lastly, to my Army Sustainment Command family, previously as the Chief of Staff and now as the Deputy Commander, I was blessed with the opportunity to watch our unit reorganize while continuously supporting worldwide missions without missing a beat. Some of which we are still supporting today. The majority of our team, as reflected in most units, have transitioned to telework, but you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Our leaders, both military, DA civilian, and contractors, have made the transition seamlessly and are still focused on accomplishing the mission regardless of the obstacles. I want to give special thanks to Cindy Becerra, the hardest working Secretary of General Staff that I know, to Tom Kenyon, the one who makes things happen behind the scenes in the ASC G3 and in this headquarters. To everyone in the G6 and the Office of Communication Engagement that pulled us together to make this really happen. To Miss Everline Barnard, I know you wanted to be here to sing a beautiful version of the National Anthem. Nevertheless, thank you for your years of support. To our chaplain for the opening words of wisdom, I truly understand that I could not have made it this far without spiritual guides to keep me healthy and strong. I want to close by leaving you with one final quote. 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference, by Robert Frost. Janelle and I look forward to continuing the journey down the road with our next assignment. Thank you. On the line, Army Strong.
Thank you, Brigadier General Allen. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise to the playing of the Army song.
March along, sing a song with the army of the free. Count the brave, count the true, who have fought to victory. We're the army and proud of our name. We're the army and proudly proclaim. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might. And the army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won. And the army goes rolling along. And it's high, high, hey, the army's on its way. Down off and pain is out and strong. So wherever we go, you will always know that the army goes rolling along.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. on behalf of Army Material Command and Army Sustainment Command, thank you for tuning in. Please remain on the line for the informal portion of Brigadier General Allen's ceremony for unit awards and gifts. We will return in 2 minutes. On the line, Army Strong.
Steve, well done. Congratulations to you and Janelle. Over.
Thank you, sir. Greatly appreciated.
Again, the first of many to come, but it was just a great honor for me. Since it was via VTC and via Facebook Live, I would normally just be sitting in the audience, pretty much doing the whole thing live. And so I actually got to participate. It was, again, a distinct honor for me to do that. So we've got some tokens of our appreciation, and we hope that they'll find those that are through gifts, they'll find a place on your wall where you're going. I know it's very difficult because you're going overseas, and you're trying to figure out right now, okay, how do I get this to where I'm going? Because you've already moved. I've done it several times. We're also going to give you an award, Steve. And I know you've gotten so many things today that mean a lot to you. And hopefully this will mean something too. You've done great work here in your 2 years. And this is the first award you'll get as a flag officer. But I'm sure it's going to be the first of it. You've earned every bit of it. And thank you so much for what you've done here. And thank you for what you're about to do. With that, can we publish the order?
Attention to orders. This is to certify that the President of the United States, authorized by Act of Congress, 20 July 1942, has awarded the Legion of Merit to Brigadier General Stephen L. Allen for exceptionally meritorious service as Chief of Staff and Deputy Commanding General, United States Army Sustainment Command, from 3 August 2017 to 30 April 2020. His actions were crucial to providing wartime support to America's soldiers and transforming the Army Sustainment Command into a cutting-edge organization postured for the future. His decisive forward thinking, caring, and balanced leadership has been truly remarkable. Brigadier General Allen's achievements, dedication, and exemplary performance of duty are in keeping with the highest traditions of military service and reflect great credit upon himself. United States Army Material Command and the United States Army. By order of the Secretary of the Army, 30 April 2020, signed General Gus Perna, Commanding General, United States Army Material Command.
You've done a wonderful job. What I'm saying, I'll say this publicly, I know it's not part of the award ceremony. I have seen families, to include my own, fumble with shoulder boards for 15 minutes. Fumble with awards for 3. My God, you've nailed it. You're a natural. Thank you so much.
Practice.
That's now for posterity to see and hear, recorded for all time.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the family and Army Sustainment Command, Major General Shapiro will now present a parting gift to Brigadier General Allen.
Again, we're social distancing. Steve, thank you so much. Hopefully this will find a place. Absolutely, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the family and Army Sustainment Command, Major General Shapiro will now present a parting gift to Miss Allen.
Again, thank you for, it was a pleasure to meet you, and good luck to you and travel safely.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. On behalf of Army Sustainment Command, thank you for tuning in. On the line, Army Strong.